I have one simple rule. The rule is, if you're working with children and you don't like ice creams, you don't deserve to work with children. As simple a rule as I have.
What about chocolates?
Ma'am, welcome. Chocolates, ice creams. I think chocolate ice cream is much better choice. I did a series called Chocolate Parenting, some time back, and I just enjoyed buying chocolates to test out and talk about the flavors and how it makes us good parents. I'll share one of those. So officially, yeah, snatching there. Officially, welcome to our skill program. And as always, I'm excited. Today is like the meat of the program, and this is also a place where we'll talk about something very interesting. I'm putting the recording on. We'll talk about Skilley, introducing our mascot, and also what it means to be a skill ambassador. Now, the entire session is divided into 3 parts. And hopefully, the journey together for the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes will be what is to be a skill ambassador. A lot of people ask me, there is no ambiguity that I'm a skill ambassador. Great, I'm part of it. But what actually do you think are we doing? So hopefully we'll talk about that in a while. And then I'll promise you one thing. One thing that I promise you is you will go back home today and you will remember all 10 core life skills. This was also a session we did together, but for the benefit, we'll do it again. And the reason is we are talking about skill and Skill India, and it's a very beautiful program. Somebody says, what skills are you teaching? We should be clear, as an instructor should be. The skills program that we teach has these core life skills. We'll talk about that, a little game around it. And finally, I'll make sure I'll take you to a little trip nostalgia where you will start riding cycles. And of course, there's an assignment coming your way. Every one of us have to put a picture in the group with cycles. We must cycle somewhere. That's a group assignment that we're going to do. Yes, everybody. As we say, beg, borrow, steal. But I need a picture with you and a cycle in the next 2 days. Great. What it means to be a skill ambassador. Congratulations, you are part of the Skill Ambassador. You've taken this program. Some of you have been invited to be part of it because of the change you will be making and you're already currently making. Someone asked me that, okay, there's so many training programs. How are you different? And it sets the ball rolling because we are not a training institute. You see, we aren't here to say, okay, we're going to do a series of teachers training program and change 10,000 teachers. No. There are enough people doing it. In fact, a good friend of mine, Pramila ma'am, would know Maya Menon in Bangalore, teacher foundation. She's doing some excellent work. Dr. Pramila, we have our own mentor. She's doing some amazing work. Teachers, Rakhi Chabria. I mean, there are people who are doing big work in the teaching fraternity. We are skilling the teachers, or anybody for that matter, teachers included. We are working on skill ambassadorship program. We aren't saying that we're going to create a teacher program where 100,000 teachers will change. Our goal has always been students. Students are where we get in schools. Remember what I said? So we said, why do we want to love ice cream? Because we work with children, and that is the purpose. Our stakeholders are kids. Each one of you, as we train ourselves, as we equip ourselves, the idea is you are taking this curriculum, and we'll do a little sneak preview into the curriculum today. You're taking this candle curriculum. Candle comes from our own origin, via the light that we are going to spread, the Indradhanush philosophy that we follow. And we will take this curriculum for our benefit as a skill ambassador. Can I skill myself? Can I learn? And also, ultimately take it to schools, take it to children. It could be children in my family. It could be my daughter's cousins. It could be people in my colony. It could be a single school. It could be a community school. It could be anywhere. But our goal is to take this program across to children. That's what skill ambassadorship is. Yes, in the way you'll get some goodies, in the way you'll get some recognition. Who doesn't want it? Some validation is good to talk on LinkedIn about. But yes, this is what a certificate looks like. It's a sample certificate, a Government of India certificate. So be very proud of it. You will get a Skill India certificate where this adds on to your credentials. You could be a wellness coach, you could be a trainer, you could be a mindset coach, you could be a parenting coach. There's so many people out there, a sustainability coach as Soha ma'am is, and this aids you. So officially you are granted a skill ambassadorship certificate. Yeah, it calls for celebration. Thank you so much for applauding. Yes, Kajal ma'am, she's always on the go. This is what we are talking about. That's all. Not too much about the idea, but slowly, like today is the third session. Today we are diving deep into life skills. Similarly, in one of the sessions, we'll dive deep into SDG goals. And in one more session, we'll do an entire LinkedIn program. We got 10 sessions with us. We'll take one at a time. We'll take one, one step per, and it doesn't have to stop at 10 sessions. Even after the 10 sessions, we'll continuously meet, perhaps not so religiously on every Thursday. Maybe we'll do a fortnight, maybe we'll do one in a month. But now, the moment you are part of this program, you are part of it for life. There is no renewal, there is no training that you have to keep doing it. This is skills, this is life. As long as we breathe, we will be doing this, and we'll keep upskilling ourselves. And trust me, you're the first team. You are the first set of believers. We talk about Justin Bieber's followers are called believers. So you're the first skillies, and you will always remain special to me. Not just to me, to each other, and hopefully one day we can have a party together. Now, this calls for what do we talk about? So as a skill ambassador, I keep saying that you are upskilling yourself. So remember, my conversation helped me position ourselves. So let's say Kalpana ma'am in Mangalore, or Sucharita ma'am in Kolkata. Hopefully tomorrow we have an opportunity, someone coming in and said, look, I love this program and this is in Malda or it is in Guwahati. Fantastic. I would love to go to Guwahati, but right now next door is a Kolkata skill ambassador. We'll connect slowly. It's not a short-term Maggie. We are not looking at 3 months turnaround. We are looking at a turnaround which might take 2-3 years, but this is a slow burner. We are calling a change in Indian students' mindset. It's a huge change. We are asking people to think larger and not be confined to the rote learning that schools are teaching us. This is what skills are all about. So as we grow, we will grow in confidence about our own skill program. So what is decision making? So there is a program on decision making in Bangalore. The next nearest skill ambassador can go there. And that's the connection we are trying to work out. There's some great collaborations that are happening. We'll talk about them as we go. SDGs, again, the same program. Also, there are some workshops that we intend to do for students. So each one of you, once you're equipped, you will be doing these workshops, as I said, organically. There are 2 programs. One is called the wax. So remember, of a candle. A candle is made of 2 components, right? Quiz. Shall I quiz you now? So I'm just giving you the answers. The quiz is coming up. Wax and wick, right? वो सुतली जो होती है, that's a wick. Wax is moldable. Wax is soft. We call the early year children, and there is an early educator out here in Shazia and Kajal ma'am. These are people, you can mold it. So we call the early part of candle the wax program. They are easily malleable. Jiske bachche teenager nahi hue, they know they are so beautiful. And suddenly the horns come out, the devils come out of them, which is the wick, inflammable. Ignite, they just ignite themselves, which is where we start talking to teenagers and college students. This is what skill program is about. Right? At this moment, you see, I as always, will share these presentations with you. It's yours for the taking. Take up a small section, do a recording, talk to people about it. Slowly, that's what we are. We are ambassadors. If there's an India's ambassador to Mexico, his job is to take the Indian culture and talk to the Mexicans. This is what we are doing with skills. We are taking our entire concept and we're taking and speaking to schools. So start speaking. I must mention Awatif ma'am has been amazingly connector. She's been reaching out to a lot of people. I've had conversations with them. And this is it. We don't have to convince anybody. That's not our goal. We are not an MLM institution. We are here to convey. We convey the message that if you don't skill yourself and ultimately your students, you will be left behind in the race called life. This is where we all stand with skill ambassadors. Yes, as we go, there are some monetary benefits. Perhaps this is an element we don't speak so much about. But what happens is when a school takes up a program, there is a mandatory life skill program that government under NEP wants school to take up. But India is a big country. I mean, what happens in Bombay cannot be immediately picked up and put in Bangalore. But what happens in Bombay and Bangalore, look at Nasik, look at Baroda, look at a city which is very far away in Chhattisgarh. This is the India we are talking about. Tier 1, Tier 2, rural, urban. It will take some time. Akola, absolutely, Angela ma'am. How can we forget? There's somebody right there in Akola. It is what we say, start having these conversations. Once a school decides, there is Sushma ma'am, who's any school you wish to connect to or you've been invited to, talk to them. drop a message and say, hi, look, there is a lovely program. Would you like to implement from June 2024? Let's talk to them. If they agree, a skill ambassador gets immediately a percentage of the invoice that is generated. We are talking about sustainability. We equip ourselves. It's a great source of income for somebody. So usually, we just had a school join in science. So let's say that's an amount of 1 lakh rupees that they invested in a school ambassadorship skill program. So please, absolutely, I'll record it. So anyone who's here and there can always be. So immediately there's a percentage that goes to the skill ambassador, which is 20% and recurring. You don't have to be like, reminded it. Next year they take up the program, you get the same amount. Imagine if you just work with 2 or 3 programs, 2 or 3 schools. That's one part of it. The second part of it is when a school needs a training, perhaps we'll ask you, because now you're a trained ambassador, you're a certified ambassador, you will go and do the training. A lot of time, what we are struggling with as trainers is we are knocking at school door and saying, hold on, there's a workshop, would you like it? Now we reverse the trend. We say you are a partner already, you've taken the curriculum. Next time you need a parenting program, we will give you. Next, and we're not the same person. We have these many people coming and doing training for you. Right? You see that handsome gentleman? No, I'm not talking about myself. You see the other one in the nice, lovely vest? Well, that is a trainer you need to talk to if it's about, wellness and coaching. Look at the lovely young lady sitting there with a book in hand. Oh my goodness. She is an ocean of experience, right? Pramila ma'am, you recognize her? This is what you're saying. You do? Oh, lovely. Kajal ma'am had some guests, so she's just, So this Asha Phillips is a wonderful friend. She always, reminds me that send me the recording. Very, very silent on the group, but they aren't inactive. They are doing amazing work. If you see Asha, she's working a lot with transgenders in Dehradun. She actually is a radio jockey. So you are here. This is what I mean when I say you are a skill ambassador. The idea of it, I don't know, what are you thinking, Angela ma'am? You're thinking so much and deep thoughts. Every time I see this picture, I'm tempted to ask you again and again. Right? So the idea we are talking is, it is a slow burn. We are not looking at quick fixes. We are not looking at right now something happens. Do not worry, even for the next 6 months, nothing happens. Trust me, this is skilling program. It will take some time. It is a program we are willing to spend time and effort in. And this is the part 1 of what and or who is a skill ambassador. Are we good? Any suggestions, inputs, question before we quickly talk to this mascot, the Skilley? Fair enough?
That's all in clarity. Lovely.
No, thank you so much. Mansur sir, you want to add something? Go ahead.
No, I said it's all in all clarity. In fact, there is no scope for any questions because the flow of the session, that the way started. So I had some questions, but by default it has been cleared. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Absolutely. So what we are talking about, and this is the idea I'm conveying, we probably will be a smaller team than we anticipate. I'm not looking at developing as I said, this is a core group. Slowly, yes, India is very big. Even if we have one person representing a city, we are looking at 500 people. But this is a program that will take its time. We are looking at, and trust me, it's a matter of time, schools will come. Schools eventually has to take a program, either ours or Tata's or anybody else. But because we are working and integrating a lot of SDG goals, they will be more than willing to come and talk to us together. Now, so just taking this conversation forward, and as I always say, 45 minutes, let's build up a momentum and take it forward. Today, my role is to teach you who Skilley is. And this is one chart you will see in the textbook. If you haven't got the textbook, that means we're just waiting to get the fresh print and send those textbooks to you, all of you. So you will get your set of candle curriculum. Every candle starts with this child. This is a Skilley. And what we say is there are 10 skills that WHO set. World Health Organization. Thanks to COVID, everybody knows WHO, right? So what we are talking about is skill could be anything. If you have money to manage, financial skills, your health management, your time management, all of the skills, what and who defines the skills? So what we said is, why do we reinvent the wheel? Let's go to the experts. So under the NCF, I'll keep using these 2 words, NEP, NCF a little more, because these are our vocabulary. NCF is National Curriculum Framework. They said that the 10 core skills are the core skills of UNICEF and WHO. These are the 10 skills. If you look at a skill, let's look at a skill called self-awareness, right? The word on top is inner light. The top letters or the top words, that is the name of the workshop on self-awareness. It could be a series, it could be individual standalone, it could be an hour-long webinar, it could be a few hour long, but we created every webinar for every skill. And those will be something we'll do it as we go ahead. This is beyond the 10 sessions we do, we'll also talk about. So one day I'll invite ma'am to come and talk about an emotional intelligence skill. But these are the core 10 skills we are talking about. Not much to talk about. I promise you, I want to teach you these 10 skills. So tomorrow, when I wake up, Avataf ma'am at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m., I'll say, come on, rattle the 10 skills. She should be able to rattle this off. The way we say our duas or our mantras, we should know our skills. That's the goal. If you do it, and we'll play a game, of course, I'll ask you to rattle off today itself. Let's see how many of us can do the skills. So, all these skills are formulated under the 3H idea. It's a pedagogy. It's none of these are invented or discovered by me. I'm not Newton or Einstein. I believe there's some amazing work happening we don't even know. So I try to bring out John Holt or a Robert or a Vygotsky or Edward, Howard Gardner. So these are called the 3H philosophy: head, heart, and hand. A friend of mine, she has used a lovely concept. So I borrowed her concept. I said, head is unchai, sachai, and achai. And I love this idea. Your altitude determines your attitude determines your altitude. That's unchai. Sachai, there should be heart should be clean enough. Achai, do good work with your hand. Like what we talk about in Swachh Bharat. That's the idea. Each of the 3H represents 10 skills. The way we divide it is either 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. It's a football combination. Today I thought I'll do 4-4-2. How I do 4-4-2? Here. So what H is this? Can anybody help me? I think it's a rhetoric guess, but still help me. Right? Unchai. Absolutely. This is unchai. This is head. And in head, we talk about the 4 skills. Easy to understand. The 4 skills are the 4 C's everybody wants to talk about. Every educator knows this. If they don't know, perhaps we need to remind them. The first of the 2C, it starts with head, right? So it's thinking. Critical and creative thinking. That's it. That's it. Critical and creative thinking. That's a lovely book. I told you every time I promise you I'll teach you and I'll introduce new book. This is a beautiful book available on Amazon, right? By Robert Diani. That critical and creative thinking, the moment they merge, what he says is they aren't far away from each other. They aren't like two different skill sets. He says some of the greatest minds in the world use the both sides of the brain. That's the whole idea. I'll do an experiment with you, right? He talks about Leonardo da Vinci. Can all of you help me put your thumbs together like this, please? So I'm sorry if my background is visible or not. Maybe I can change my background, but you can see me most likely. Let me still just put your thumbs together, and I'll try to change my background so you can see me better. Oh yeah, now I think I'm more visible. And I'm going to also unshare the screen. That's it. So put your hands together like this, your fingers, right? Okay, and claps it now, the way you clap. So thumb should be like this. Can you see? Put your thumbs, claps it now. Put your thumbs on top of one another. Just do it, right? Now look at your thumbs. I cannot see you, but I'm sure you can see me. Look at which thumb is above which thumb. If your right thumb is above the left thumb, the right thumb means your left part of brain is very, very active, which is the analytical part, the logical part, the mathematical part, the reasoning part. You are more of a person who will negotiate for the sabzi wala more, right? So if the right thumb is above the left thumb, if the left thumb is above the right thumb, which is the left part of the brain, which is the creative part. You love colors, you love aesthetics, you love design, you are a storyteller. So now this is interesting, isn't it? So how many of you got right? How many of you are analytical? So right thumb above left thumb, right? Okay, a lot of right. Okay, I'll teach you an exercise also. Some of us got left, right? So this is more like a creative people, the storytellers. Now, okay, don't worry. A lot of us are right brainers. So we are very analytical. We will look at a Uber price and say, okay, and this is logical, right? Which one will have cheaper, prime or mini and whatever. Some of you did not get any thumb above any thumb. Don't tell me which one, right? So you could not decide. They said that They say, if you haven't got it, like Madhya ma'am, if you haven't got it, they said they haven't done research on gorillas yet. So you are safe. Now, all right. So now, how do I change my orientation? Right. A lot of our children. Now, this is what we do. We teach ourselves how do I engage my kids. So a lot of our kids are like us. Perhaps they have one thumb, the analytical thumb above the. So you see the colorful part of the brain, the one you see here, is the one which is creative. We aren't creative enough. So this book teaches us that keep shifting the thumb. So like this, how you play a game. I don't know how you do it, but if you can do this, you will start using a creative aspect that you're not using, or someone who's not using analytical aspect will start using analytic aspect. If you're too emotional, I make gut feeling, I should start using a little more reasoning brain of mine. This is a brilliant small exercise. This is the left versus the right brain. You see, analysis, logic, idea, math, training. This is good. And the right says creativity, intuition. You take feelings, you just register because most of you intuitive, arts, imagination. So we are asking ourselves, can we be both? The right and the left brain, and their entire workshop and the candle curriculum will have enough activity. By the time they finish, they will know the best use of it. This is 2 skills that are the head skill. 2 more skills. So remember 2 skills we spoke about: thinking, creative, and critical. And I said, I'm just going to brush each skill. So by the end of it, you will learn your skills very well. This is Skilley, right? Creative and critical. Are we good? Are we done? Can I go on ahead? The other 2C are simple. 4C. Remember? So the 2C are collaboration and communication. You think. So you think. So we say, let's use the head as an analogy. Collaboration is basically, in the actual word, the syntax is interpersonal communication. Think of it this way. I meet Mansoor Sai, I say, hi Mansoor Sai, shake hand with him, and then I start talking to him. How are you? How is your health? I did interpersonal relationship. I collaborated and I communicated. I travel all the way to Mangalore. I speak to Kalpana ma'am. She says, welcome home. And we spend time, and she invites me and tells me about some amazing places I should visit. We collaborated, we communicated. The 4 C's that we're talking about. All right. Who's the first one to tell me the 4 C's? It's not difficult. Come on. The head C's. The 4 head C's. Thank you, Madhya.
Skill thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, and communication.
Absolutely. You are good. I think this is the filling of the jar. You're good with your saying. And in the edge, what is the Hindi word we use when you think higher, bigger, taller?
Uchai, Sachai, Achai. These are
Oh,
the 3.
nice. I like that. I love this Uchai, Sachai, Achai, and I'm using it so often. Giving credit to my friend. He runs a value education company. So that's the whole idea. Oh my goodness. We've done 4 skills already out of the 10 skills.
Yeah, Valentine's Day is coming.
Oh, nice. That is what you reminded yourself of. Oh, H for the heart. Fair enough. No, we don't give gifts on Valentine. My wife's around. So we should get gifts, by the way. Yes. Receiving gifts is also important. Be empathetic. If you get a sandal the size doesn't fit in, please be empathetic. That is H is all about, right? So don't use the sandal to hit me again. H has 2 and 2, 4 again. So I've used simple. Number 1, heart is where you have all the emotions of empathy. Today, trust me, my professor in IIT Delhi, Professor Harish Chaudhary, said something beautiful. He says, world-class education without values will give you world-class criminals. I'll repeat what he said. Professor Harish, he's amazing. He says world-class education without values will give you world-class criminals. And we see the world around. We see people who have looted us and gone and shifted over the world. From Vijay Mallya to Mehul Choksi. People who have, crores. And this is unfortunate, right? Empathy is one skill that cannot be taught. For that matter, no skill can be taught. Empathy comes from within. Our kids, when you drive the car, they observe the way you drive, the way you swear, the way you talk to the watchmen and the maids. Empathy comes from there. The way you treat a street dog, the stray dogs, empathy comes from there. And I think I learned empathy in COVID. When we realize that we have everything we need. Sometimes we are always so ungrateful. Today, we have health, we have a roof, we have everything we need. And that's what empathy is about. Empathy is not just, feeling about others. It's feeling grateful for your own condition and how wonderful it is. So H is empathy. Another thing is self-awareness. I should know myself, right? So this is the two part of the H: empathy and self-awareness. Remember, when you see yourself in the mirror, who do you see? Self-awareness. A pawn can see itself as a king or a queen on a chess, and there you are. Oh, thank you so much. They observe, but they don't take support. Right? This is the new generation, tight-fisted generation. I love the new word. It's a new vocabulary for me. So let's do a little self-esteem word search. It's a common one. What's the first word that you can search? It says who you are. Go ahead. Tell me. Shout it out. Write it down. What's the first word that you found?
Helpful.
Happy.
Okay. Happy. Okay. So
Happy.
there's both of you. Happy,
But
helpful,
protective.
protective. Lovely. Okay. Yes. Someone's looking vertical. Someone's looking horizontal. This defines your self-esteem. Is this a science? No, it's just a word search. But the moment I teach a child this as an exercise, and then I start talking about it, somebody found brave as a word. He said, what did you do that was very brave? Standing up for your friend when he was being bullied was being brave. You start giving logical examples. You start giving scenarios. This is what we're talking about. Empathy starts from within. Empathy comes with self-awareness. So that's what we're saying. The two H that we just said, the two core skills with this H is empathy and self-awareness. When you are self-aware as a leader, so I just pulled it up from a beautiful program called Center for Creative Leadership. It says, you are wise, the owl. You have a role, like a mark as an identity. Your reputation values, you value your reputation. So people look upon you. That's why you want to act good. And then there's a brand you that you are carrying about. A lot of facets of self-awareness. Will not get into the details. This is just an orientation we're doing. But these are the two skills we spoke about. What are the two skills? Anyone quickly? So far, how many skills have we done?
Self-awareness and empathy.
Brilliant, ma'am. Thank you so much. Empathy, so many things we shared about. So, being an attentive listener, you are being empathetic right now. Although some of you might look at a watch and say, oh, hold on, don't worry, there's another 20 minutes on your clock right now. But you're genuinely curious. You're genuinely interested. You're sharing your perspectives. It's so strange. A lot of people, they don't have a DP status on the WhatsApp. It shows people who are empathetic has a profile photo. I was shocked when I read that. Why? He said, because you tell the world who you are. So if you put a rose, if you put a park, they said, you're just hiding behind something. Be honest. Show yourself. Kalpana, ma'am, you want to ask something? Please, yeah, go ahead. Or if you raise a hand by mistake, it's fine. So what we are saying, yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, no, absolutely. So, small things matter. What you speak about yourself. I was listening to a podcast when somebody was being praised and he was like, no, shying away. He said, no, accept that you've done something good. That is a part of humbleness itself. Ratan Tata, when he comes, he's the icon of India. He needs to accept he's the icon of India. Today's newspaper, he opened up a 2-acre animal hospital. And I was like, who does that? And he does a 2-acre animal hospital in the heart of Mumbai. I mean, this is empathy for me. And then the other two H are coping with stress and coping with emotion. That's the exact words in the WHO file. Stress management and emotional management. That's all. Or EQ, emotional quotient, right? So we are saying these are the 4 H. All of us feel stressed at some point of time. Stress by itself is not bad. Stress is like anger. Is anger bad or good? Tell me, please tell me.
Both.
Is anger
It depends
good?
on the context. It depends on the
Absolutely.
context.
It depends on the context. If there is a road that is not being repaired for days, I should be angry, isn't it? And if I'm not angry, there's something wrong with me. This is the idea we say. It's an emotion. How do you channelize your emotion? How do you put it in perspective? This are the two stress man. Today we are stressed. Okay, quickly. This is a workshop I usually take, but I love to ask you. You are on a vacation, right? And on a vacation, suddenly you had a brilliant time. You had a very important call, and you're sailing, and the phone drops or your mobile is not working. You don't have a signal now. Forget dropping on the phone. There is no signal in your phone. How stressed on a scale of 10 would you be? How stressed would you?
On a vacation, if my phone doesn't work, I won't stress. On a working day,
I love the idea. It's one, it's zero. All right, yes, Shazia says so well. Anger is not bad, but you should know how to control it and who should you shout at, right? No? Two, three people without mobile phones have told me 9, 10, 20. Somebody said 100. And I said, all right, this is how stressed you become without a mobile phone? What about having a life-threatening disease? What about losing? Five, fair enough, on an average thing. Losing, living in a war-torn city right now, what's happening in the world. And suddenly, if you look at the hierarchy of things that you should be stressed about, losing a mobile phone or not having a signal is not being stressed about. You know, the most peaceful people in the world are those who can put their phone on airline mode and sleep every afternoon. Can you do that? Please do that. Most peaceful people, but you know, because if you are important,
I do that.
welcome.
After
I
10
don't
o'clock, my
pick up my phones in the afternoon.
Lovely. I have a stress-free community out here. The tribe is so wonderful. Both of you.
10 p.m. my phone turns into not disturb.
So it's a zombie time. Okay. Both of them, what they meant was the husbands can't call them up. Otherwise, they have a life of their own. They party around. I know them both, so don't worry. But it's amazing. Today, we live in constant ring, ping, ding. I use three words. You know, we are constantly living in a stressed environment. Your mobile is giving you stress. The proximity to the mobile is giving you stress. So this is what we are talking about. Look at the emotions that you go through. Which emotions defines you on the peak of your day? Mansoor sir, Angela ma'am, Kalpana ma'am, which emotion defines you?
6, I would say so.
Okay, the sixth one. All right, fair enough. So
Allow me to say, because uh, what we are just discussing, critical thinking, self-awareness, and all those points, I was thinking, like, I can just make my life coaching program based on these 10. I need nothing else, believe me. If I thoroughly research this and dig deep into it, my job is done. It makes things easy, and I would be getting results with my people. Really.
wonderful, Mansoor sir. I'm so proud. You know, this is exactly what.
Why only females' image is being shown in this emotions?
Oh, goodness.
That's a valid question.
We'll talk about.
Please justify.
Because we are very expressive, you know.
I'll give you an
All
answer.
expressions come from.
Female images, because they can manage the emotions far better than male. Male images were undecipherable. Is that good enough an answer? They were so bad that, level 1 itself was bad. There was no smiling male face I
This
found
guy
out.
was prepared with the answer up front, I must say.
I live with 4 girls in my house, Mansoor sir. I learned something about estrogen. Fair enough. If you are in level 1, the top line, you are managing your stress. Level 2, distress. Level 3, completely out of control. What we are saying is, the last picture looks very calm. It's a picture somebody's given up. Please don't give up. A lot of time we feel so lost, so lost. I know one of our skill ambassador, she was there the other day and she said, I've just given up. I don't come to office anymore. I don't know if she's around, but I said, why? She said, I don't know what to do. Sometimes you're so overwhelmed with work, then you need a friend. Then you need someone to help you with. This is what we're talking about. Fair enough? Okay, who can tell me before I go to my last few? Because we've done 8 skills, by the way, and we are doing very good on time. And time management is not a skill we're talking about. Can you believe it? 8 skills. Anybody who can rattle off the 8 skills. Very good.
empathy, self-awareness, time, stress management, and emotional management.
Wonderful. So 4 done, and the 4 C's. Thank you, Pramila ma'am. You deserve an applause here. There we go. Absolutely wonderful. This is what we're talking about. And the last 2 are H for hand. Remember, you got 2 hands, so we talk about 2 skills. I used to talk about 3, but I said self-awareness could be a heart emotion. From problem solving to decision making, everything in life is about solving. You are late for work and you're taking a quick decision. Should I drive, take an Uber, or train? You are taking a decision. You are also solving a problem. Usually, taking a decision involves solving some problem or the other. You are hungry and you're quickly trying to think, should I grab a sandwich on the way, or should I reach that place and then I'll order something and Zomato will come there? You are always constantly making a decision, solving a problem. We sometimes don't connect the two. And why I call it the hand decision? Because there's so much of movement involved into it. These are all not confined to those 3 H. H is a pedagogy, but these are skills we need to teach our children. Remember, we spoke about the Pomodoro technique, time management. Today we don't do time management. We do clock management. If we were to do time management, we would have more, what you say, value in our time. The Arabic word we use called barakah, more resources in our time. Time expands. It does. We have stories from Mahabharata to the Bible where time has expanded for prophets and messengers and scholars and people. What are we doing with our time? Some people achieve far more in the same day, and others just are thankful that the time goes by. Calendar is gone. We are already on the 8th of Feb. Just few weeks back, I thought we were congratulating on Happy New Year. And we midway, and suddenly, poof, a year will be, 6 months gone. We are constantly running behind the clock. We are not doing time management, which is why it's not even a skill for me. If you do these 10 skills, you will be able to manage far more than we're talking about. So this ends the second part of it, and there's a game, that's all, that will end in the next 15 minutes. Are we good? Are we good to go? 10 skills. Are you good with 10 skills? Can I run through my 10 skills with all of you? Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll come to cycle. Don't worry, Angela, ma'am. Right. This is the 10 skills you just learned. Congratulations. Can you just pat yourself on the back? Come on, do that. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, do it nicely. Yes, sir. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Good work. Sushma, ma'am. Yes. Thank you. You just learned something which is the epic time management. Epic skill management. You just did 21st century. And for nobody else, if you only apply this to yourself, a lot of you will come back and say, all right, this is wonderful. Problem solving is everything to decision making. You learn one thing from today's workshop. I think it's worth the time you're spending here. You go back and say, okay, mobile isn't so important in my life, by the way. I know how to manage my life without a notification sound. You learn something, you learn a skill that makes your life better. That is why it is called life skill. Everybody has a shell period. We have an expiry date. We all come with that date. Like it or don't like it, so does a parent, so does the spouses, so does the children. We all hope they outlive us. That's every parent's dream, isn't it? All of us dream that our children, my parents dream the same way, as much as I love dearly to them. We just want the life to be easier, and these skills will help that. These skills are tools to navigate through the process of life. So are we good? Yes? All right. So the next 10 minutes, let me run through my final part of it, which is recycling. All right, there you are. Angelina ma'am already gave me an answer. So which is easier to learn, rowing, boating, or cycling? Think about it. Skills. So give me an answer. And why? Yeah, Angelina ma'am, you gave an answer. So why don't you tell us? Which is easier? You already told me cycling, but why?
Cycle gives you collaboration of your hand and mind and body, and then you are self-aware about yourself. Then you have a creative thinking, how to manage on the road the bumpers, and if there is some hurdle, if someone comes right across. And then yes, stress management, because when I learned cycling, I fell in the bushes, the thorny prickly bushes, and I came back home with the cycle, and I cried only when I saw my dad.
So you held your tears until then. I love this.
Yes.
She has got strong emotional management skill, by the way, right? She knows when to cry. What's the point of crying alone when nobody watches? She needs an audience to cry. Wonderful. Absolutely.
I can't be a peacock in the jungle. I have to dance.
Oh, nobody knows what happened. So lovely, so beautifully articulated. Taranna ma'am, I love what you said. It's easier to cycle, right? Because it's easier. You are learning one less skill. Rowing, of course, doesn't require, but you should probably be equipped with swimming, right? You're jumping in the waters with a boat. Hopefully you're equipped to learn to swim, but cycling doesn't require that. It's easier to navigate because you're on the road, you know perhaps the road. This is an easier skill to learn, and I agree with you. There is no doubt about it. Now, I'll make it easier for you, a little more fun. Which is easier to draw? There are two different versions of it, right? These are two drawings, the actual drawings. I would like all of you to pick up a pen and a paper. I would have loved to do a whiteboard marker here on the screen. Please draw a cycle for me. No, just draw a cycle for me. And I'll love to see how you draw a cycle. And I think, can you post your cycle in the WhatsApp groups?
I wanted to draw the boat here with the same.
So please, because I've seen I've seen people do this. This is an actual drawing of a cycle by an engineer, and I wish, a boat is easier to draw. So wonderful. Paper boats are far more easier to make than any cycle, I think. I don't know origami that teaches me how to make a cycle. Why?
Boat is something we are drawing since childhood.
And we aren't drawing cycles. I love that answer, Kalpana ma'am. But why? You are right. Because we love doing the easier thing. Cycling as a skill is easier, but we don't worry about it. How many of you drawn the boat? Come on, please put your boats on the group. I'm waiting for your messages in the group. Let me put a message out there. You can even take your time and post it later. Let's laugh at you. Oh, Angela ma'am, Angelina ma'am, there you are. Can you take a picture and also put it on your board? I got it. Okay, share your cycles. Madhya ma'am. Oh, Madhya ma'am, boat is an easy one. Please, the cycle. Come on. I don't want boat pictures. I want cycle pictures. Oh, Mansoor says cycle looks awesome. Sir, please put that. You're making me ashamed. Because this one is my picture of a cycle that you see on the screen. I'm seriously ashamed. This. Oh wow! Look at this, Angelina. I love your cycle. I love your cycle. It's a stretched out cycle on that, and please have a look at it. And those who aren't in the meeting would be wondering what are people doing with cycles and boats. The conclusion we draw is that okay, I've got Shushma ma'am. So you got a good cycle. Fair enough, Shushma ma'am. You've done a good job. Because more people may not know your name. Nice. Okay.
My cycle says, sir, that I am not tired, but my cycle is stressed out now.
You've been cycling so much that you stretch your cycle itself. Pramila ma'am, where is your cycle? We're looking for you. Maybe you can take your time and draw your...
I held the book up and I think you didn't see it.
Oh, no, I didn't see it. Okay. This is this. Ma'am. All right. The cycle itself will go round and round. It's a merry-go-round, not a cycle, Pramila ma'am.
No, whatever it is, that's what I could do. Creativity is not one of my things.
I love your spirit, all of you. This is the last part, and I'm enjoying myself. Avatif ma'am, I think you made what is that? The cycle in the gyms. Why is it? So far, I think there is
a cycle is a cycle. Now, your perspective you're looking towards is as a gym cycle.
That's a psychologist speaking. The problem is in my creative thinking, not in a drawing. Nice, ma'am. This is wonderful. The idea that I'm trying to share, and that's the conclusion. That's the only conclusion. I'll give you an example. We are always never taught to draw a cycle because we are taught things which are abstract in the life. Life skills are so practical, such common sense things, but that's the only problem. We skip the common sense. I would rather want my kids to draw a cycle because that is when they will be encouraged to cycle and not the boat. But this is how our education system has been. The absence of cycle is it's a metaphor for the absence of life skills being taught in a school. You see every slide, you see a small candle out there. That's a ray of hope we're igniting in our mind and our kids' mind. And I'll give you a conclusion. The reason we aren't able to draw a cycle is nobody told us that draw a cycle and fail. Nobody laughed at a cycle, not jeering laugh, but a laugh as a together. We made fun. We loved to be judged. We were not afraid to be judged. We were not, the atmosphere we created is collaborative thing. We said, fine, have fun, draw the cycle. We were allowed ourselves to fail. You see, when I say this as the same way you learn to draw a cycle or learn how to ride a cycle. Angelina ma'am, she said she fell in the bushes. Cycling is a skilling part. The reason she fell in the bushes is because somebody allowed her to go alone, right? Somebody allowed her to travel. I remember a case study where my daughter would just not learn how to cycle. Just not learn how to cycle. And I was wondering, I was doing everything possible so that she could learn, and she would just not learn how to cycle. Can you tell me why did she learn? Because I would hold the cycle and run behind her and keep running until she could pedal well. I would be, always around her. She just didn't learn cycling. Why?
Because you were after her.
So lovely, absolutely. I just couldn't let go of the bar. You see, I was always there. I mean, this is more of a metaphorical picture, but I was riding along with her. I was not being a coach, I was being her partner. I wouldn't let her cycle on her own. I wouldn't let her fall down so that she can come with crocodile tears to me and say, "Oh, Bob, I fell down. Look at this." No, I just couldn't do that. The day I let go of her, she learned how to cycle. The day I put my fears to rest, she will fall down. Yes, I'm willing to fall, let her fall down in the thorny bushes, as Angelina Ma'am said. This is where we are missing out. Life skill is this. Can we let go? Can we teach our students, our teachers, our schools to let go? And I think that's all. That's all I have for you. You learned cycling today, at least in concept, and I'm sure you will improve your cycle drawings by the time we finish this, right? Because I'm going to frame these posters and show them to you after 5 years. So thank you so much for your time. That's all we've got. As always, 2 star and a wish. What did you like in today's session? What can you talk about it? And we've got 10 minutes by the time we finish up. Please, the floor is yours.
Cycle remind me of the childhood memory because
Absolutely.
even my dad has got a cycle, but we friends all together go rent a cycle and then we go out. So it, I just gone back in my childhood.
So true. Awatif ma'am, that's exactly what cycle does. It is nostalgic. It brings memories. Remember those, what we call turbo cycle? We all had a brush with cycle. And it always, eventually, what you just shared, it takes us to our parents. Someone who was there. Someone who we just need to bring the cycle back in our lives. That's all. Drawing and riding and letting go. So yes, thank you so much. It's so beautiful what you shared. Yes, Mansoor sir, Kalpana ma'am, go ahead. This is it. This is us.
Uh, I'll just second what ma'am said, because for me, learning cycle, that was the first experience that, I am on my own. I have, like it was a wonderful feeling. A sense of achievement was there, when I started to beautifully and, like tactfully, I could ride the cycle. Yeah, the falls and trips and everything, the bruises were there. But yes, it gave me the first experience that, this is something I'm doing. Wow. Yes.
Lovely, lovely. And I think that's the whole idea we are talking about, that life skill is not about huge bombastic lessons and lectures. It has small ingredients, small pointers, everyday example, and our kids will learn about it. Now, I learned the hard way that not letting go was damaging my daughter rather than protecting her. And this is it. We are damaging our children by not teaching them these at schools. So please, yes, ma'am, I would love to hear most of you, every one of you. With a small team, I'd love to hear all of you.
I would like to say something, sir, regarding this. Yeah, it is
Please.
also my time, my parents used to never allow us out also. So I didn't get this opportunity of even cycling, due to which, but, today's generation, they get this opportunity. Like you as a father, you're saying that, you allowed your daughter to let go. So it's a great thing, because of globalization, because of the mindset of the parents, everything is changing now. So things are, getting improved these days, and especially in our Indian society.
I mean, yes, it is, very beautiful. Is it, ma'am? We have so many families today, even they aren't letting go. And it could be many other examples. Cycle is a metaphor for many things in life. Sometimes we are afraid of the roads. Sometimes we are not letting them take an auto to the nearby school or go to a pajama party where friends are calling them. The idea is what we said, decision making. The idea is letting go. The idea is stress management. We and somewhere, if you haven't been through that, perhaps you are in a better position to know you must give it to the kids. Yes, I mean, I'm learning constantly from my daughters as much as I'm teaching them, and I'm just sharing these small examples with you, small incidents of life. In fact, I just shared a little video on the same concept. It's a small video called letting go of the wheels, and hopefully it's a 2 minutes or 5 minute session, but please listen to it. And yes, today we had the meat of life skills. This is exactly the purpose of why we are together, and the journey has just started. Pramila ma'am, as always, I love your words. In Madiha ma'am, I want a lot of our young trainers come and speak, and then I have the wise wisdom of Pramila ma'am as always. Madiha ma'am, how did you listen to it?
See, I have actually always
One of the
listened. I think you missed it. I said Fear has two meanings. It's very common. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise.
Wow,
So
nice.
that's what we're doing. We're facing everything and we're rising together now.
Nice. Very poetic. Very nice. I would love, put this please in the group. I love this answer. This is so lovely. Right. Pramila, ma'am, as always, I love to invite you to share your thoughts, your ideas into what we heard today.
I was looking at this from the academician's point of view. You simplified the 10 goals by putting it into 4 plus 4 plus 2. And you made everybody remember things by bringing in the right kind of context. If I were watching this lesson as a teacher and you were a trainee, I would give you an A plus.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, and the cycle brought back memories to me also, because I'm talking about 1969 to 1970. Some of you were not even born at that time. So I used to go to the college on a bicycle. Then in 1970, I got married. So thereafter, there has been no cycle. So I'm not going to sit on a cycle. I'm worried that I'll fall at this moment. But that was a memory that was triggered. Those days, Bangalore used to be an air-conditioned city. Not anymore. Not
Okay.
anymore. So, and there is an incident that I would like to let go incident with my daughter. She was in school and she had to learn Marathi. She wouldn't study Marathi at all. I don't know Marathi to teach her. I mean, not to read, write, and understand. I can speak. So she wouldn't learn. And she's an achiever in other areas, but in Marathi, she got a red line. I didn't say a word. Because I had told her you have to study it, and she didn't study. I quietly took the report, signed it. She sobbed. She sobbed. And then she said, I want to go for tuition. And she went I put her up for a tuition, and she got distinction in the next exam.
Wow.
So not saying a thing, letting her go, make her experience a red line was a lesson in I think that is a lesson that she will remember. She remembers it. She shares it sometimes.
This is so touching and so relevant to what we spoke about, Pramila ma'am. And as always, it's small incidents in life that teaches us more than any big tour, any big travel that we've done. These are moments that are what we call life-defining moments. And I wish your daughter all the best, and hopefully she should come and address us in Marathi next time.
she's 40 years old today, but today as in not
Yes, not her birthday today, but no, thank you so much. And always, I find your words very comforting. There's some kind of an aura that I don't know. I mean, I love you for the sake of that. The way you bring the whole conclusion to it, and we're so blessed. I say that from the deepest part of my heart, that you bring a lot of stability and a lot of maturity in the conversations we have, Pramila ma'am.
You're being very generous.
No, I mean it, and as I see this tribe growing, this community growing, and today we could bring out the essence of why we're meeting. Hopefully, we'll keep meeting for these short sessions, and then we have these longer workshops and plans with ma'am and her sessions also. But at least you're getting a gist of it. Until then, we exactly on time. We've got a minute or two, so go back, have your coffees and teas, and see you next week. Until then, and yes, your cycle photos. You've already done the drawing, so I'll spare you the cycle photos now. But hopefully, we'll put our takeaways from the session today. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you for that, because I was thinking where to get a cycle now.
The photos was good enough, so there you are. Thank you so much. Thank you and bye bye.